Robo, Tony Romo, 40-yard dash, boy, don't be slow-mo. Get on the court, boy, I'm in go. Outside in the sun like Elliot Kobo. I'm running fast, LA de la Cruz. Turn on the JAFFOs, get my news. A7FL doing good, how I knew. All pro, JAFFO, the all pro, jump talk sports. They speak fast, you talk smack, you get sacked. Come tune in, sit in chat. What sport you like, they speak all that.
Hey, yo, everybody. Welcome. Another episode of the All Pro JAFFOs, bringing you the highly elevated sports talk for the highly elevated sports. And Mizzle already celebrating in there with the confetti. Welcome. I'm the bad guy, JP, alongside me. You guys know him from the Mizzle and Dub show on his, I would say, lunch break or segue into lunch break. For
However you feel you want to call it.
Bringing it in here, and we got another exciting show because, ladies and gentlemen, we got it. I mean, he was our game wrecker of the week this week after a tough loss in week one. They absolutely put belt to ass against the East Orange Renegades. You guys know him as the reigning A7FL MVP and our game wrecker of the week, ladies and gentlemen, multi-time A7FL champion, Mr. Sterry Codrington of the BIC. How are you, sir?
Doing good. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, last time we had you, it was after the championship. It took us a while to get you on because obviously there was a focus that needed to be done and everything like that. But glad to have you on this week, game wrecker of the week. You guys definitely handled business against an East Orange Renegades team that it, similar to the U in the way of they always play you guys pretty tough, but this year, this last week was not one of those games. How were you feeling going into this week, and how are you feeling now after uh, what a lot of people call the very dominant performance?
I mean, it was a little different this time going around because I mean they missing their team, you guys, uh, quarterback, couple key defensive players, couple key receivers. I mean, it pretty much had like a completely different team. And in the past years, they've always had a good D line, but they were missing a couple guys like from their core, just Renegades team as well. So I mean, that wasn't. I would say that wasn't a good representation of like what their actual team is. Like, but like I said, they're definitely not the same as they was last year or the years in the past. But they still trying to figure stuff out too. And it's a weird season because of the amount of games, but technically it's still early. You know what I mean? It just they could find a stride. You never know. But I wasn't too surprised with how the game went. Not to sound too cocky, but
I mean, it's explaining that the team isn't really the same team. There was a humbleness to that. Going, yeah, we definitely we definitely whooped that ass, but it wasn't the same team as we normally play. It was one of those like underlying explanations. But I mean, it's the not surprised thing. I mean, we weren't really surprised going into it either. No disrespect to the team, but we're you guys were coming off a week one, which again, I mean, the UBIC is always a battle. Every single year, it's always a tight game. It's always a great game. Very entertaining to watch. Um, After week one, what was the thought process after that game?
uh, obviously we mad that we lost and everything, but it's week one. Like week one is kind of tricky because how can I put this? Like week one is a toss up. You don't really know who gonna show up. You for the most part teams don't practice. We didn't practice. We didn't have any meetups, anything. So and I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm just saying like a lot of teams is that way. So it's week one is always kind of like not hit or miss, but if you were looking for like an upset or to knock off a team and something like that, like week one is kind of the week to do it. Um, we knew going into that game, obviously not playing the Renegades like we normally did, like the last couple seasons. Start the season off, we played the Renegades, but we knew going into that game having to play the U, like it was going to be a tough game. It's always a rival game and stuff like that. But coming out of the game, I mean, we felt, I would say the attitude on the team was better as far as that loss versus when we won against the Renegades last year in week 1, because of how we won, because of how the game was throughout the game. Um, the disappointment, it was more disappointment last year when we won versus this year when we lost, because everybody knows, or you can assume that Hollywood is not gonna fumble. He's gonna go out of bounds like he should have. KK is not gonna return the ball. He's gonna keep it in the end zone like he should have. So it's just, and again, it's not to take away from Huff, because he did exactly what he was supposed to do. You make a dumb play or make a mistake and you pay for it. That
Yep.
that's pretty
Absolutely.
much that's how that goes. So we we feel good about it. I mean, you watch the film, and there's certain things that we could have done better, and it's always going to be like that in every game. But as far as like the overall, I think we're fine.
I mean, it definitely wasn't a loss that people can look at and go, "Oh man, what's wrong?" Because again, it's that game, whether it's week 1, middle of the season, end of the year, it's always a tough one. So it's
Mhm.
not one of those losses that really, I guess, really defines like, oh man, well, I mean, the BIC is different. They're not going to be the same no more. That's because you guys came back this year. Did you added more players to the squad? Your defense is getting better. The offense has more firepower, if that was even possible from last year. So and again, that game. I mean, Huff. I mean, there was a reason why he was our game record last week. Dude was
Yeah.
just playing out of his damn mind, and like you said, just making the plays when they needed to be played. And to only lose the game by, I think it was 35-31 at the end of the game. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, though you can definitely tell the turnovers that were made, especially by Huff. Those were difference makers. Those were definitely turning points in the game. So like he did his absolute thing last week, and I think without that effort from him, it's a different story, for sure. But this week, I kind of looked at it going, all right, the BIC is going to come back. They know they made some mistakes last week. You guys have always been a very good learn from your past mistakes and don't make them again and get better the next week. You guys have
Mhm.
always been pretty good at doing that at every year that we've seen you guys play. Um, I don't think I've ever recalled seeing back to back losses, so I wasn't ever expecting that. Um, but how? So I mean, you mentioned earlier that this obviously the season is a little shorter. There's less teams, in the league than there's been in a long time since I believe the Town Beef days. That hasn't been or this low amount of teams. Especially, and Huff brought it up last week. This is the smallest amount of teams that the East Coast has had. So you guys having to play against, I think, a total of 4 or 5 teams in the East Coast now, when there were 8, 9, 10, years prior. So with everything with that change happening, the season being shorter, how does the mindset change at all? Is there anything that you guys then look forward to and go like, you know what, okay, we need to do this in order to retool. We need to be able to, because every game at this point matters. How are you guys preparing for a slightly different season that you guys are used to playing years prior?
I mean, it's a little different, and I kind of think in like the grand scheme of things, it works out for us because, and hear me out with this. So when I first came into the league, it was conference and then it was national. So we had to we had to go through the U or the Baltimore team, or even when Florida came, you had to make it out of that conference before you could even worry about the national. So it was a little different. Every game throughout the regular season really mattered, and the points, like how much you won by, it also mattered. So that's why you used to see a lot of those blowouts and stuff like that. But I think now the biggest difference is, to me, none of that matters because we just need to make it to the playoffs. And then in the playoffs, records don't matter. It's 0-0. You just got to win the game. So yeah, we want to make sure that, I guess, we have the easier ride to the chip or whatever. But at the end of the day, I don't really care. Play whoever show up on the schedule, and
Line
at
them
the end
up.
of the day, they got to play us too.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
I'm sure nobody want to see us until the chip or whatever. But at the end of the day, it's not that many teams. We lost the game. The records is gonna line up. The season is gonna match up how it matches up, and we're gonna have to play who we gotta play. So to me, it really don't matter like how much we win by, all of that this season. For me, it don't matter. I just want to win,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
then once we get to the playoffs, we see how it goes. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't really care who we play as far as like the season wise. You know what I mean?
I mean, usually the best players in the league don't.
Don't care.
It's just like Mizzle said, line them up, we'll put them
Line them up.
down. It's gonna be
Yeah,
fine.
like, I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be nice to play like the lower tier teams, but at the end of the day, I feel like that'll, if you think about the Insomniacs, quote unquote, they ain't play nobody until they had to play us, or because even with the animals, they were missing a lot of guys. It was different things going on, so they didn't really get to see like what the animals team really was that last season, because they were a good team. Like that animals performance that the Insomniacs saw, that wasn't what everybody back east saw.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
to me, they didn't really have a test until the chip game, and it might have bit them. You know what I mean? So we won't have to deal with that. So
I mean, yeah. I mean that Vegas, that Final Four. There were a lot of things during that weekend that, yeah, I mean, we can definitely look at, like, yeah, animals, like, had they actually showed up with more than basically the players that they showed up with, you'd have more subs in, you'd have a lot more. Because I mean, you were there. The heat
yeah, it was hot.
was just
Ridiculous.
stupid. It, it was
Yeah, that
absolutely insane. And
that was like, I won't say that was like the worst experience I ever had or nothing like that. Like, because it wasn't that like drastic or dramatic, but I don't I don't recommend I don't recommend, like,
Like, yeah, I give y'all big credit for that. Running
yeah,
up
I
and
don't
down
yeah,
that
recommend, like,
field, getting
because
tackled, picking yourself up.
even you guys didn't full come in with full squad.
see,
You know,
but I feel like I was all right. Like, it was hot and everything, but really it wasn't, to me, it wasn't too hot. It was just, you can't catch your breath how you normally can where we from.
mm,
Like, breathing through your mouth, you can't do that out there. Like,
yeah.
it's just certain things that you naturally do when you get tired. You can't do that out there. So
Yeah.
I seen people on the end. I seen their bodies go into shock. Like,
Yeah, it
but
was
I
a
think inside, like, I want to go to that Arizona, that indoor Arizona one where
bullheaded. Yeah,
Bullhead.
yeah, that's where I want to play. I feel like those two games last year in Vegas, if those games were at Bullhead, it would have been real good games, would have been real close games.
I agree.
yeah. The
Seemed
Heat.
like
I
the
mean,
Heat took the element out of the game, so you had to
Yeah,
Yeah,
adjust.
and it took
Yeah.
the intensity out of the
Yes.
games for the East Coast teams,
You
because
were
the
not
guys on the
saying you
West,
guys
they
were
were still intense, but we
yeah.
not
just
saying that you were defeated, but that heat
we
just
was just trying to survive. To be honest with you,
Absolutely. Yeah, yes, absolutely.
just trying to
But I
survive.
mean, even
Like,
even the Vegas guys were saying the same thing. You know, that even I mean, they obviously had more players to be able to sub in and out because you're from the area. There's no excuse for them not to show up with a full squad. But even
yeah,
they, pregame and everything like that, were going, "Damn, this is something different out here. Like this
yeah,
is,
it was hot.
you got 100, almost 120-degree weather on a turf field, which amplifies the heat even more. Like it was."
150.
Even stepping on the field, for us was just like I was telling everybody that I had a 48-ounce, big old Yeti cooler full of water. I drank that shit 8 times. Never had to go to the bathroom. It was just I was sweating. It's just the heat was just bad. So I can only imagine just watching y'all. I was like, damn. This, and you
Yeah,
can tell like with everybody on the field that it was just it was an ass whooper. Like it was something that I don't think even the Vegas guys were necessarily prepared for. I mean, Bullhead, Arizona, the heat out there is worse,
yeah.
but
No, I've been to
playing
Arizona.
indoors, yeah, playing in that indoor stadium where the championship was played a few years ago, yeah, that definitely would have had a different outlook.
It
Like you
was
said, the intensity, everything
a
like that,
real
that would have
feel.
definitely been different.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah, definitely agree
but
to that.
but now we're going into I mean, I don't, I haven't heard or seen anything of where the championships or Final Four or anything like that is going to be
yeah. I don't
played
know either.
yet. And I've been talking to people trying to figure out. So like we've been talking back and forth, and we wanted to talk. We've wanted to talk to players. We wanted to talk to coach. We want to get everybody's input. Like you being one of the, I mean, whether anybody wants to admit it or not, you're one of the pillars of this league. You're one of the players that people
Absolutely.
look at and go like, "Yeah, this is a good representation of the league." You're not the only one, but you're one of them for sure. So, as you're a leader on your team. You when you speak, people listen, and we're now looking at a league where some bad things get said, some good things get said. When we look at things, it almost looks it's just this close to getting over the hump to finally, I will repeat this till the day I die. I don't understand how the A7FL is not featured on ESPN, but fucking cornhole is. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I don't get it at all.
Hey, don't sleep though. Cornhole go crazy.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I
absolutely.
understand that, but A7FL comparatively, when you're looking at the two sports, when you're looking at
Yeah.
entertainment value, I
And
I
with how
mean,
flag is getting bigger now,
I
like,
that as
yeah,
well. So I mean, but you're looking at a league that there's definitely a lot of potential in the league. From what you've been seeing, what is it that's missing? What do you think is that one necessary thing to finally get over the hump, to finally get the recognition that y'all honestly deserve?
I mean, it's gonna sound cliche or whatever, but it's money. It comes down to money. Like it it comes down to money. And it's funny because if you tap into like the boards and you look at the lives and stuff like that, different players that have been in the league for a long time, mostly like the guys that have started with Town Beef and stuff, they say like money and kind of A7 is what killed Town Beef because remember nobody played for money. It was town versus town.
Yeah,
It was more prideful, you know what I mean?
yeah,
And then the money got involved, and then super teams got involved and this and that. Because at the end of the day, you want to win the money, right?
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I mean,
so now fast forward, excuse me. Now we're trying to expand. Been doing this for since I got into the league. That's why I got into the league because they were expanding. So you expand, new division, new state. You have to travel. Costs money, but nobody want to spend their own money to
Right.
go travel. We didn't, you know what I mean? Technically, we didn't ask to play these out of state games. Like I'm leaving in like 4 hours to go to Kentucky.
yeah.
I ain't asked to play them, but it is what it is. Expansion. Like it's the money. If you had somebody just with a whole bunch of money that was looking to invest in something that they thought was interesting or whatever, like that's what I think it comes down to. It just comes down to somebody who has not a hobby, but they were a football player back in the day, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe their kid is involved in flag and they're interested in football or something, and they just want to invest. You got to get lucky because that's really what it comes down to. I think you still always going to have people sign up because I mean, think about it. The league fee, it rose and people still sign up. People complain about it, but they still signed up because at the end of the day, this is fun. It's an outlet.
Yeah.
We go to work
Yes.
every day
Yeah.
just to be able to, you know what I mean, shoot the shit and play on Sunday. So I think the league is always going to be around as far as that aspect, but to like make that transition or like you say to have players get the recognition they deserve, it's the money.
Yeah.
That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that was one thing that we had looked at and going because yeah, when you're traveling to different states and stuff like that, I feel like the league needs to have an understanding that again everybody works a 9 to 5. Everybody's got a job
Yeah,
outside of A7. It's not there may be a couple of guys here and there that their careers are either flag or doing something else, or there may be a couple. I don't know, but for the most part, from what I've seen, everybody is they gotta put food on the table for their families. They got
Correct.
to
exactly.
keep the roof over their head and everything like that. So it's for the league to basically have an expectation of, all right, now we got teams in Kentucky. You guys need to travel to Kentucky. Well, you
How?
know how long that takes to plan. You know how the amount of money to get the full squad over
Yeah.
over to Lexington or to Florida
And then that's
or to
the
Ohio or
but that's like another thing too is if I'm thinking if I'm thinking business wise as far as like a new division owner or a new team owner, like okay, for the Phantoms, if I was the owner of the Phantoms, like of course I want to play the big name teams. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to play the Insomniacs. You know what I mean. But I'm talking as far as East Coast.
yeah
So of course the UBIC, the Animals. I want to play those teams, but you're not gonna for a home game. Even if they travel here, we travel there. It doesn't matter. Just the point of travel. You're not gonna get the full BIC team.
yeah
Like we played the what Cincinnati. We played the Crush last season. Their experience of playing BIC is not the same experience that the Renegades just had last Sunday.
mm,
Like
well,
or what the Insomniacs think about the talent level of BIC, the Crush might not think that. They might be, oh, they weren't that good or they only beat us by this amount of points. They didn't see the same team.
yeah
So it just yeah, you get to play those teams, but you're not even gonna play the actual roster of guys that would actually be there playoff time or chip time, you know what I mean? So
yeah
it like it I don't know. I don't even think it's worth it. But at the end of the day, it's they on the schedule.
gotta play
So
what's on the
it's tough.
schedule and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah,
It
so
is
like the expansion part of it is tough.
And
yeah it
speaking of the traveling, how you guys traveling this weekend? You guys are gonna be how staffed are you gonna be?
We started with like 25, but now we dropping like flies. So we're gonna see.
Oh shit.
I mean
So are
it,
we
it's
taking it that you're
it's
gonna be both ways this week?
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
yeah
We went out
yeah
there with like 13 last year.
Ooh, Iron Man football.
I mean that's always for me that's always show a big sign of toughness when you can be
Oh
able to
hell
play
yeah.
both sides of the ball. But when you have to do it out of necessity is, I mean, when you can do it, just because you can, that's one thing. Out of necessity, it's a different optic. Like
Yeah.
it's a different look. on the whole thing. And that's all. I mean, I'm glad you asked that, Mizzle, because that was my next question. Like, because the travel has always been something that I've had a question about, of how teams are either individually doing it, how the prep is going. Okay, we've got this on the. I feel like the schedule itself, the season schedule itself, should probably come out maybe a month earlier or a little bit earlier, to be able to give these teams an opportunity to look at, okay, where are we going to be playing? What do we need to prepare for? What finances do we
Yeah.
need to put down together to be
Yeah.
able to do this, and make it happen to where all teams are getting the full experience of who it is that they're playing.
Yep.
And I'm sure when the Phantoms come down, over there to Asbury Park, they're not going to have everybody on their squad.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
so it's one of those that I feel like the owners need to probably, either sit down with each other and like, look, when I think there needs to be an understanding. If you're going to be an owner in this league, it's going to take more than you basically just buying up a team spot or a division spot. Derek Duncan can't. I mean, you look at him, what he's been doing in the West. When they started off that division, Derek definitely knew that he was going to have to put up more than the initial fee of getting the division in there. And I think he's done a really good job at being able to help the Vegas teams, if they do have to travel, cross country. He's done a pretty good job at being able to get the teams there, or at least a
Yeah,
good amount of the teams there.
I feel like they do a good job of traveling. Because even my first time playing them, I think they came to Delaware. They had a decent amount of people on their team. I think they had more than us.
Why doesn't
Yes.
nobody start a travel fund in the beginning of the season? Like, if you know you're going to be
So
traveling.
so this is the thing, is this is not like, all right, so for example, overseas, right? In other countries that have football, they have, like, you guys know, U17,
Mm-hmm.
U16, stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
overseas, they also have it to where they have a main pro club team, but then they have a U19 or U17. You know what I mean? They have a lower level. Think of it like JV.
Yeah.
Now, they also have different youth. I don't know the age breakdown, but they basically have like a farm system.
Thank you for
Mhm.
calling
So
Kaiser
that by the
Permanente.
time
Goodbye.
you're 18, you're 19, you done played on the same
Yep.
Arizona Wildcats your whole life. So now by the time you're old enough to be a pro player, it's a no-brainer. You already
Yeah.
know where you're gonna play. You know what I mean? They know what you do, they know what you can do, you know what I mean? They coach you your whole career. So it's an easier transition versus over here with a lot of the, I wouldn't even call it pro, but semi-pro. It's so many different, like you got flag, where it's different formats of flag. So you might be playing on different teams for all different formats instead of one team having seven different teams within that organization. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Most of the youth organizations, they do it to where they'll have girls and, well, it's co-ed, but they'll have 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So they'll have the 6 or 7 different teams under the same organization. I think A7 needs to pretty much brand it that way, to where, like, the TMU guys that was on the Renegades,
Mm-hmm.
they play they play together in a lot of different formats. You know what I mean? They have a lot of chemistry between them. Now, if they were to somehow translate that to A7, they have a farm system of
Mm.
guys
I
that
mean, yeah.
want more of the because there's not all, like, not all flag guys are in love with flag. They just play flag because that's the only form of football they got.
Yeah.
But then they get introduced to A7, where they can tackle again. You know what I mean? It's similar to flag. It's 7-on-7. There's no pads. You can recruit a lot easier that way. We don't have any of that. BIC, we don't got a flag team. All our guys play on different flag teams. That's how we get most of our guys, play against them in a flag league. And hey, you ever heard of A7? That's how recruiting goes. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
there's no like fake farm system, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that
Total
it
sense.
yeah, it
Total
makes
sense.
sense because like when you explain it that way, because the Insomniacs, I know, I
Exactly.
mean, we've been
Perfect
They
example.
play everything
that
together.
team has been, I mean,
And that's why
it,
they came in
yeah,
rolling.
yeah,
Same
Softball,
with the Tampa,
flag.
same with the Nightcrawlers.
yeah.
A lot of those guys, they played flag together. A lot of them didn't too. They brought a lot of them together, but most of those guys had chemistry from flag together.
So it's like making almost like an off-season program
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
to
Because
be able to. Got it.
when you, especially like with BIC, we won the chip last year. We lost the chip the year before. I promise you, there's no difference, and that's the problem.
Mm,
Is like when we lost, I thought the following year, week 1, we're gonna have the whole team. Or week 2, we're gonna have the whole team. Or instead of it being week 4, week 5, week 6, we starting to get the full roster. I thought it was gonna be from week 1 because we lost.
no.
People are gonna have that fire. Shit don't matter. It was the same thing. And then we won. And I'm thinking, okay, week 1, we've been saying in the chat back to back and we ain't have a single practice. We ain't have a single meetup. And we had like 20 maybe. And so it don't matter.
So there's a lot of
But that's
talk, not a whole
life.
lot of
Like,
action going on.
but again, like this league is tough because people have real life going.
Yeah.
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 Like it's different when football is your only requirement is working out and eating healthy.
Yeah.
Like you got life going on. So it's hard to even get on somebody for not showing up. Because I used to hate that. It took me so long to get over that.
I mean, when you're a
Sign of a great leader.
competitor, yeah, when you're a competitor, when you're a leader and stuff like that, there's expectations. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
we all signed up for this. We all need to be here. This isn't like, oh, we signed it. And one of the things that's wild is like when you pay a fee and you're only there for one game, you paid that much money for a fee just to play one game
Yeah.
and chill the rest of the time. Like, so I can definitely understand the competitive aspect of that going like if we signed up for this, we got to commit. You know, we got to, you know, come out and play. We put up the
Then
money,
you
we
Absolutely.
and
did
then
all the
you
fees, we did everything we had to do, but now we actually
but
got to
then
get there.
but then you also have the other aspect of like and this is for every team too, because it's not just for BIC or the Insomniacs. There's only 7 people on the field at a time.
Yeah.
The roster limit, what, 35? I think it used to be 40. I could be wrong. But even 35 is still a lot. Like 21 is a lot. That's 3 units.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? 3 different units. So being third on the depth chart used to be a killer. Like a backup, you get in there, you still be mad, you know what I mean? But you know, you one
Mhm.
mistake away or
Yeah.
or even if bro
Yeah.
tired, he tap his head, you in there. But that third stringer or 4th string, 5th string, you like, man, what am I doing here?
Yeah.
Now we
Yeah.
talking about recreation football that you pay to be there.
No.
You
Mhm.
mind you, you pay, but all that I paid, that shit go out the window if you're not playing and people won't show up.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen it in semi-pro happen plenty of times. You know, so that
Just
there's
flat out
this.
not show up.
Yeah. It's just
That's
Like
when you're.
crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get that mindset too. Like when you pay a certain amount of money, you have you know, an expectation to at least see the field somewhat.
Yep.
So then that kind
I
of
feel
goes
like
into.
it's impossible though because not nobody because I keep hearing a lot about the Vegas teams practicing, but a lot of the East Coast teams, we don't practice. So it's like if you come into the team and you like like a Manny Diaz, right? Manny come to the team, Shanti there, KK there. So off the rip, you at best can be third receiver,
Mm.
but we don't have practice.
No.
So how can you earn a spot over Trey, who been there, if we don't have practice?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But luckily, with an attitude like him, he still show up and he just get in where he fit in. He showed up week 1 and was like, "Yo, I play corner." We like, "What?" Bro, I don't care. I play corner. It's what everybody else think is that he's selfish or he a typical receiver. He want the ball.
Mm.
No, he want to win. That's the difference. So them type of reasons is the only reason why we able to make it work without having practice, because nobody can earn it. You know what I mean? Nobody can take somebody's spot or nothing. We don't have no. Well, ain't no practice. How you gonna do that?
Mm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, there's no real other than game day. There's no other measure of
Everybody can have a bad game.
yeah.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? So that's what makes it tough, or even a bad matchup.
Yeah.
As a coach, if I'm continuously putting you in a bad matchup and you losing, is that on you or is that on me as a coach?
Mm.
It's on the
You know what I
coach.
mean? So
Self-awareness is something, ain't
so
it?
again, like that lack of practice that kills the league in my opinion.
Mm. Yeah, I think there's gonna have to be a lot of uh, questions that need to be answered, especially in the. I mean, I've always said it. Like off season is critical in planning. Right when the season is over, we got to start planning for next season, especially when it's like this, when you don't have practices, when you have teams that aren't showing up with full squads on the road, or the travel schedules get a little messed up, and you don't know where your playoffs are going to be played. You don't know where your championship is going to be played until mid-season at best. Like that can't happen. If you're going to function as a successful league and to be taken seriously on the next level, that is stuff that needs to be taken care of and needs to get better along the way. And I know that the league has players who are willing to do it and can do it. It's just a matter of, like you said, the finances definitely need to be there. But
Yeah.
I think the plans need to be done way ahead of time. There can't be, last second changes again, because, and we talked about this a little bit last week. It was, you can't tell somebody, okay, you're going to be playing in Kentucky in 3 weeks, and then the week prior going, or the week before that going, wait, travel plans, you guys are actually going to have to play here. Well, everybody was already prepared, made flight plans, made board and room, like for all this already.
Did that happen? I think that happened to the U last year when when they went to play, I want to say the Watchmen,
Mm.
Wasn't that a
maybe?
forfeit game? That was a forfeit game, wasn't it?
No, no.
No.
This was a game that wasn't filmed, but
Okay.
everybody was saying that Huff played really good, and they took the Watchmen down to the wire with like 13 or 14 guys, and they had 13 or 14 guys because something similar to what you were saying as far
Traveling
as,
issues.
yep,
Yeah.
they thought the game was gonna be, and this time they booked, you know, uh, like
Flights
travel
That's
down.
arrangements,
crazy.
and then it ended up switching. I could be, and like I said, I could be wrong with the exact details, but from what I remember, it was something along the lines of that.
Yeah, and I know that there were things that were, especially with the Final Four last year, but nobody knew the Final Four was going to be in. Everybody was talking about, oh, the Final Four is going to be in the East Coast. and then 2 weeks prior, oh, it's actually going to be in Vegas, and then everybody has to
But
make
see, that's
it's
crazy.
almost an emergency,
See,
flight
I want to
plans. It's
say, we knew that when the season started,
Oh,
or maybe it wasn't set in stone, but yeah, we had already knew that we had to go out there at some point. We knew that.
oh, well, see, that was the thing. The conversation was they knew that playoffs wise that they were going to try and go. They basically do the interconference play during the playoffs instead of
That's what
meeting.
I remember.
Yeah,
Yeah.
instead of
And then it
meeting West
changed.
versus East in the
Yeah. Yeah.
championship,
Yeah.
they wanted to make it throughout the playoffs to where, first round of the playoffs, the Insomniacs have an opportunity to play like the U or the Animals or whoever it was. So then, like I said, the plan was the Final Four was going to be in on the East Coast, and then the championship was going to be in Bullhead. But then 2 weeks, I don't even think it was 2 weeks. It might have been a week before the final, because that was the reason why I mean, me and Matchsticks, I mean, you saw us out there. That was a 24-hour trip. We made the
yep.
trip up for the game, and then after the game, we had to come all the way back. For the championship, we
Yeah,
thought it was
man.
going to be in Bullhead.
Listen. We are the masters of 1 day trips at this point. That bro, we flew into Vegas like Saturday morning. Flew flew out right after the game
Yep, I remember that.
to
I remember a lot of
Vegas.
you guys took out. Yep.
Now, granted, luckily I done been to Vegas before, but it's a couple people that ain't never been out there. That don't even count. You can't even count that.
They can't
You
even
can't even
count a
count
good trip
that.
to Vegas for that. Yeah.
We walked around for like an hour and a half, 2 hours. That was it. And it felt like the oven was on out that motherfucker.
telling you, telling you.
But
That
yeah,
shit was
it's
crazy.
just it. I think, I mean, like you said, there's a lot of things that definitely need to get worked on and discussed and stuff, especially prior to the year even beginning. But I mean that's just something down the road that needs to get addressed. If it does, then great. If it doesn't, then we're going to be in the same boat that we are now.
But
And
this is what I think though, is I think like as a league, we're only in this position because like nothing is ever good enough. And like I mean that
Mm.
like as a good thing and a bad thing.
mm,
Like, because you don't never want to be satisfied. Like,
right.
some can always be better, but at the end of the day, like I said, this shit is fun for me. Like,
Mm,
it'd be stressful and everything, game planning and dealing with people not showing up and all of that. Like, but at the end of the day, like, my little cousins is on the team. That's why I play.
Hmm.
Like, and you never get to play with them. We
yeah.
different age group, but now I can. It's a lot of people that use A7 as an outlet because again, they deal with real life.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Life on
So
the outside, man. It's just it is what it is. But I mean,
yeah, like
Sterry,
and again, it could be better, but at the end of the day, hey, we make it
yeah,
we make it work.
yeah, you gotta
Make you
gotta
do what it
roll.
do.
Yeah, you gotta roll with the punches, control what you can control, and deal with what you can't when it comes. But I
Yeah.
mean, you guys have done a really good job at doing that. You guys have been, keeping your heads up and making sure that what needs to get done can get done. And I know that the league is in good hands. It's just a matter of getting there. So,
Few things need to
Sterry,
be tweaked.
absolutely, Sterry. I mean,
Yeah.
always good to talk to you, sir. I'm glad we could talk to you at the beginning of the season instead of having to wait all the way at the
Yeah.
end.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate the
Uh,
time. Good luck on Sunday.
mhm.
Hope to talk to you again, sir, soon. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaffo Army. You guys know him. You love him. You watch him. You're entertained by him. The reigning A7FL MVP and this week's Game Wrecker of the Week. Mr. Sterry Codrington, quarterback of the Trenton BIC. We'll see you again soon, sir.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a
Yes,
good one.
Of
sir.
course. Yes, sir.
I mean,
Team
it's
leader right there, man.
of
That's
course,
I
of
mean,
course.
what can you say?
Of course, that when you have leadership, and that's why I say I think the league is in good hands, because you have good leadership around, and it's just a matter of being able to kind of get things together
Mm-hmm.
and make it happen. The league is entertaining. It's not
Yes.
gonna be not entertaining, in my opinion. I think as long as things are done the right way, and people move the right way, ownership, teams, at higher ups,
Yeah.
as long as things get done the right way and are handled the right way, I think the league will get the due that they deserve, and
Well,
hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later. But we'll see what it is. As the years and stuff like that comes to an end, and we go into next season, the conversations and stuff like that. Whatever it is that needs to be talked, it is what it is. But I mean, always good to have the stereo on. Last time, like I said, last time we talked to him, we couldn't get him on until after the championship. He was so locked into the season. But
absolutely.
it's been good being able to, obviously as this year goes, being able to talk to everybody and get more of a sense on not just how they played this last week or upcoming week, mindset, but everybody knows the mindset of a competitor.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
we're focused. We're gonna try and win.
Yep.
Every cliche that you can think of, that's what's going to happen. But getting in the mind of the players to what's next for like league success, and what they think that things that can be done, and what's currently happening that's either helping it get there or holding it back a little bit.
Yeah.
And when you can get that fresh perspective, I think it's important. And I think all the higher ups and everybody, like, people need to be able to listen to everybody and not be like, whatever, let egos get aside. Y'all need to work together. Players got to work together. Coaches got to work together. Ownership's got to work together. CEOs, everybody's got to work together.
Well, here's a good idea. As you say, in the off season, all ownerships, like I said, CEOs, talk right then and there. Lay out the foundation for next season. Give that to the players so then they can have time to set things aside that they need to make the season successful. So every player can be there. In the season, okay, look, we're starting the season here. Playoffs is going to be here. Championship's going to be here. Boom.
And go with that. I can't even tell you how frustrating it is to still not know where the championship's going to be this year.
I was going to ask
Because
Sterry that, like, do you know where anything is going to be at this year?
I I don't think, I mean, I'm sure he probably does. He may be in the loop with certain things, but from what I'm seeing, it doesn't look like really a lot of people do. Maybe we got to get Derek Duncan, or we got to get we got to get somebody on here from the ownership side of it, to be able to
Hell,
kind of
because
talk and find out, hey, what's the plans? We
even
haven't
I
heard
want
or
to know
seen
where the
any.
hell the championship game is so I can find time to take time off, get plane ticket, or look.
You can't give me a week before and expect me to
Hell
show up.
no.
I'm sorry. It's
No.
not going to happen
No.
that way.
Look here. I got to go to my wife and be like, hey, I'm going to Vegas for the championship, or I'm going to the East Coast for the championship. It's here, here, here. You know my wife. She's
Yeah. We got to know the
detailed.
plans, and then we go from there.
Yes. So, I mean, I wish I had time to do things more for the A7, because I like we always say, I love this league so much, and I really want to see it get there. Like you said, cornhole on ESPN. Cornhole.
They're doing one hop softball now on ESPN, meaning the ball's got to go up, it's got to bounce first, or it's one hop stickball
Sounds
that's
like
getting.
kickball.
Not kickball. So, well, kickball is also on there, but stickball, wiffle ball is being, it's like there's so many, like, can those, I'm not saying that those sports can't be entertaining and fun to watch, But you're not going to sit here and tell me that those are more entertaining than the A7. They're just not.
Bro.
It's just
Grown men,
we got to speak reality. It's not. The football
grown.
will always be king. Whether it's flag football, tackle football, no pad tackle football, but regardless, football will always be king. Hell, even beach football league now, the BFL, they've got a big following and getting looked. So, and they just started. A7's been here for 12 plus years, and if you're including Town Beef, and yet the recognition that they deserve is not
Not
there.
there. Bro, they
So
got lingerie football league, and the A7 can't even get nothing.
Like it's that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not sure some of the decisions or some of the things that are happening. It's just like I don't know where that hump is coming from.
Yeah.
Because all the stars are there. All the players that you could ever want to be great representations of this league are in there.
I
But
mean, you
it's
got
just
Mr. Marketable. We know who that is.
yeah.
You got Sterry. You got Huff. You got Scooter. Munchie. You got I mean, it's a ton of names. You got things that can be marketable.
Yeah. It's just there's plenty of stuff there, and a lot of the thing. I don't think it needs to take much, but I mean, hey, if that one investor, whoever that is,
Yeah.
comes in and decides to really put some money down and be like, hey, I mean, it's not like people aren't impressed with this league. People know who this is. Former NFL coaches, players, so they know what this league is all about. They've
Hell,
seen
wasn't
it.
there
They've
just
watched
Dominic
it.
Rogers-Cromartie was playing last year?
Former NFL players playing now. You have Dawkins who owned the Snow Tribe. So it's kind of like you look at. I think with the Dawkins thing, I was like, I'm sorry, he could have put up more to be able to help. That's just me. But you're not going to tell me you're playing in the NFL, making
never get in somebody
multi-million-dollar
else's
deal,
pockets.
and you can't. All you can do is give enough to give them the jerseys and the name. Like, come on now, let's be real. Like, you could have probably done a little bit more, just a little bit more, Mr. Dawkins. But I mean, you did play for Buffalo, so.
Ouch.
Winning and doing what needs to be done is not the strongest suit in Buffalo. So, but that's shit talking here and there. Friendly banter, friendly banter.
That's what we
Maybe
do.
a little bit
However
of
you take it.
get your shit together, and this could have been, it's just there is recognition. It's just the finances and stuff like that need to be there, and getting the right investors. That's gonna take a minute, but also that falls on the players and coaches. If you want the right investors to come in, certain things can't be happening on Sundays. I don't want to hear Dub and Chris one more time during the weekend going, oh, come on, guys. Come on now. Let's not. Come on. Let's get. I don't want to hear that anymore. I don't want to have to watch a game get cut early from the live stream because people can't get their shit together. Because egos are getting in the way. It's just like there's certain things that investors. I'm sorry, they're not going to invest in your league when week after week after week after week after week there's some sort of problem. So it's just there's obviously there's shit that needs to get done, and if I mean shit, if I won the lottery tomorrow, I would put some money
Cash
down
a
to be able
check
to help
right
out.
now.
You know what I mean? Like
Cash a check right
it's
now.
but we got 9 to 5s, we got lives, we got jobs, we got to put a roof over our head and stuff like that, just like everybody else in the league does. So
You see where I'm at, my 9 to 5.
yeah, so but I mean things. I mean, if the channel can get monetized, we're almost to that 500 mark. If we can get monetized, maybe things can start to happen and we can see. But it's just a matter of getting to those points and hoping and supporting the league as much as we possibly can, whether it's getting people just to talk on the show or talking with the other. I mean, I talked to Center, And we're going to be, later on down the line, there's going to be another owner coming in, and we're going to talk to him on the show. I don't know who it is. I don't know where the owner is going to, or what state or where it's going to be, but I know we're going to be talking to a new owner pretty soon.
I mean, this season had potential. Atlanta was supposed to be in here, LA. Now we got
Compton
Lexington.
had a team.
Who had a team?
Compton.
Yeah, Compton.
But fell
I was
through.
looking forward to that one.
But, just fell through. The schedule was made and everything, but just fell through for whatever reason. I mean, I could probably think at the top of my head what some of the reasons might be, but that's all hearsay. I don't know for sure. I can only speculate at that point.
Right.
But it's one of those, you announce 3-4 teams before the season even starts, and then when the season is getting there, not only did those 4 teams that you announced that were going to be there are gone, but 3 additional teams that were already in the league are gone.
Now you got to readjust the schedule.
You got to readjust everything. Ohio, the whole Ohio division is gone. Wow. Sorry, not that I give a shit, but it is Ohio. But the Florida division gone.
Yeah.
With Atlanta coming in, I was thinking Georgia. Ooh, that could be a good market right there.
Pipeline of football out there for sure.
But now that's gone. So it's just a matter of finding the right person, the right time, whatever it may be. But it just we need to get to a point with this league that there's got to be more consistency too, because investors are also going to look at, okay, how consistent are these teams in the league? How many fallouts? Mm-hmm. How many teams are here for just 1 year and gone?
I hope they don't look at that film that happened out in the East Coast that one year. Holy moly.
Whether they look at the film or look at all the social media posts that have happened since that, and I can almost guarantee you a lot of that scenario is a deterrent even to this day. So there's some scars that the league has that they're not going to go away, but it's how you kind of come back from it.
Absolutely.
And get better from it. Mm-hmm. That investors can go, okay, you had some problems then, but you're better now. All right, cool. We can invest in it. So got to be marketable. So but again, we thank Sterry for being on. I know Mizzle's got to get back to it. A lot of things going on in the sports world. Obviously, the Sweet 16 is going on. For both women and men's NCAA MLB season is back in full swing. No pun intended. I don't know if I'm going to watch all 162 games. Probably not, because I don't have that kind of time. I am not my dad. So I'm not going to be able to just sit and watch baseball all the time. I'll stick with the highlights up until we get closer to October. I'll do that.
That's when everybody's mostly start watching. Like, I'll watch the beginning of the season, but when it gets into the middle, I'm like, okay. But then when the pennant race start picking up, I start focusing a little bit more. So, 162 games, you got plenty of time.
Usually you get opening day, first couple of days.
Yep.
Then you get the All-Star break.
Yep.
Then a little bit after that, but then again, once you get, September, October, that's when real things start to kind of pick up. And then obviously playoffs is playoffs. So, but there are a lot of good things happening in the sports world. Another week of the A7 coming in on Sunday, so be tuned in for that. And then come back again. We'll have our week 3 game record, whoever that may be. We'll see how the weekend determines and plays out, but it could be a
Sick-witted versus the Insomniacs again. Get your popcorn ready for that one.
There's a few potential game records in that game. So so we'll see how it goes. Could there be a repeat game record? Who knows? Can we get a new one? Maybe. Can everybody just have a shit weekend and we have no game records? That's also possible. So
that's why you play the game.
We will see how it goes, but we'll appreciate everybody in the Jaffa Army for chilling with us. A lot of things coming up. Indie Vibes is getting a tweak. It's going to be now the Matchsticks experience.
There we go.
That's going to be coming in now, and we got a. If we didn't get nerdy enough with our D&D show, the DNA, the Digital Nerd Alliance, is coming soon to the channel. And I am excited to dive into a lot of things with that because I feel like there's going to be almost unlimited conversations that we can have about.
And we're going to see how many nerd shirts Mizzle can go through on each episode. I have a ton, so.
The JAFFOs TV merch store might be getting another wave of
Revamp.
there's so much. There are 14 shirt designs just for Botched Initiative that are coming soon.
Oof.
So now, and then there's that, and then a couple more for the All Pro JAFFOs. I know the Matchsticks Experience is going to have some more shirts coming in. There's a lot of shit going on. I've been working on some video game style shirt things for the DNA for us and everything as well.
I'm
so
ready.
I'll show you a couple of the ones that it's come up with, but
Nice.
but a lot of cool things. Go to JAFFOSTV.com, hit that merch store. That's the best way to be able to support and also be able to hit the subscribe button. Be a friend, tell a friend. We are so close to getting that 500 monetization. So help us get there. We've done it organically. No buying, no bots, no bullshit. If we can get this organically, I can be. We're good. I'm glad we were able to hit that goal. So let's get to that 500, and then we can make more goals and plans after that. But we appreciate you guys for hanging out with us this week. We will see you guys again soon. For myself, JP, for Mizzle on the Mizzle and Dub Show, and everybody else from the family and JAFFOs TV. We will see you guys again next time. Deuces.